Okay. Um, did we talk about the fate of Firefox?
No. Should we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was an article posted on the Lemmy, and I'll post it in the show notes here. It says the fall of Firefox. And to be honest, I can't dispute the article. It just seems so weird to say that because I use it constantly. So I guess I'm kind of blinded by my bias. Who here uses Firefox? I do.
Me.
Lawrence does. Lovecraft does. And like how many years do you think you've used Firefox?
Over 10.
Oh, definitely over 10.
Yeah, I've been looking to come off, go on to Firefox, but I've tried a few times. I've used it in the past a lot, but I should really go on to it full time.
Now it says, as far as the history goes, oh, go ahead.
Since it was Netscape.
Yeah. So I was about to say the Netscape browser suite source code was open sourced in 1998. It was open source to save it, basically. And what grew out of that was Firefox in 2002, created by the Mozilla project. Their goal was to create the first universal internet client and then a pure web browser called Firefox. It says first, Netscape loyalists and open source and Linux fans moved to it. Over time, it gained a mass following. By the summer of 2010, it reached its high point of 34.1% of the market share. Ever since, it's been downhill. So would you guys like to guess the current market share of Firefox now?
I would say 2%.
12%.
Very good. It says currently at 2.2%, which is crazy to me. It's hard to believe. But I guess I don't know. I guess that's
How
true.
many people left because of Snap?
I don't know.
It's a terrible experience after Snap.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So the snap of Firefox is bad?
It is horrible. My Think Penguin laptop is unusable because of it.
Really?
Wow.
And the hundreds of tabs I have open.
Now, to be fair, they count mobile browsers as well in this survey. So Google Chrome has 47.9%. I think a lot of that has to do with Android because Safari has 36.2%. And I know not everybody's got a Mac, so it's all on the iPhone.
I actually use Firefox, is it called Firefox Focus on the Android, just so you can search for stuff. And like, let's say you search for a printer or a scanner or anything what you want, you don't get like ads for the next 3 weeks of something that you've already just bought, something like that.
Now, I use Firefox on Android as well, but mainly because of the extensions. Because I use uBlock Origin to block ads and a few other extensions, the Wallabag extension and stuff like that. But I'll admit that on Android, it's not as fast as Google Chrome is, but I still rather use Firefox, so I don't have to see ads and stuff.
Well, I actually use the Firefox Focus, which is just every time it closes it just wipes out all the history, so it's like a fresh install that every time.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I haven't used Firefox Focus.
I've used on mobile. I'd use Firefox, the beta version. I'm not sure if it's just a continuous nightly build or what, but I think it runs fine. I mean, I've never noticed it. There's never been any noticeable difference, at least not in my opinion. And like you said, I use uBlock on it as well. I mean, I'd rather open up tabs in the Firefox than I would in the Chrome. On most of my machines, on my laptops and stuff, I usually wind up using Chromium. but I don't. You're right when you say that. I think most people are just so mobile focused right now that it's going to be either the default, which is Chrome, or Safari for anything Apple related. And then after that, I mean, there's not many. The biggest reason why people moved over to Firefox was because Internet Explorer was a hot piece of garbage.
Mhm.
And then later on, Edge decided that they were going to build it off of Chrome instead of whatever that they were using before.
Yeah.
So
My-
now it's. I'm not sure if that means
Edge is still on. It mentions Edge being built on Chromium, Microsoft
Yeah.
Edge.
I wonder if that means.
Yeah, but like back in the day, you couldn't. I remember going on probably around the Netscape, probably maybe Firefox as well. Like you went onto your banking website and it won't let you in unless you
Right.
used Internet Explorer. So
Right.
there's no technical reason why Firefox should be at 2%. Really, is there? I mean, it should be compatible with like every website, really.
Yeah, it is. I think the reason they give in this article is the rise of Chrome. It says they say that Chrome reinvented the browser. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was a big change. And I actually switched to Chrome for a little while from Firefox, and I was happy with how fast it was. But eventually it began to kind of slow down, not nearly as speedy as it used to be. And then I wasn't fond of Google. Now this is still in my Windows days, so I wasn't fond of Google having access to my searches and things like that. So I switched back to Firefox, and then on Linux I just carried over Firefox from Windows. So but I don't know what the future holds for Firefox. I mean, the source is open, luckily, so.
But even a lot of the other browsers, what's the engine? You know, the web engine underneath, they all use the same as Chrome anyway.
The Chromium, yeah, it says Opera, Vivaldi, and Brave all run on top of Chromium, as well as Microsoft Edge.
What is that WebKit?
I don't think so. I think Safari
What
uses
is-
WebKit. I think it used to be WebKit. Not okay. So
I think you've convinced me. I think for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to swap over to Firefox and let you know how it goes.
what are you currently using?
Well, I'm on a Chromebook at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So, no, I mean, on the Linux machine, that's just behind me there. That's probably Chrome. No, it's actually Chrome that's running on that. I've got Firefox. I do use Firefox now and then, but it's usually if I want to open a totally separate window, you know. I guess laziness. So I should really get back onto the Firefox.
I use Firefox on my Chromebook.
Yeah, I've got Firefox on this Chromebook, but I don't know. I just click on the icon and use it. I've been meaning to think about getting back onto Firefox though.
Also, there's a new Chrome spin come out called Thorium.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before. That's what you use, right?
I use on some machines, yes. Interestingly, MX Linux for the Pies uses Chromium. They support both Chromium and Firefox, but they recommend Chromium because it's a faster loading browser.
It's weird. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say apparently the engines are WebKit, Blink, Gecko, and something called Ghana. So WebKit is used by Apple for Safari. Blink is what Google uses. Gecko is what Mozilla uses, and Ghana is actually what It's the other offshoots of Firefox, the Pale Moon,
Oh,
Basilisk,
okay.
and K Melon use. There's other ones that are like maintained and discontinued. There's with Trident, Edge HTML, Flow, Servo,
What is the
NetSurf,
Ice
and
Weasel?
LibWeb. Iceweasel is a what is it? Probably Gecko.
And then there's like a water something too, isn't there?
Those are all offshoots of
Waterfox.
Waterfox. Those are
Waterfox,
all
yeah.
offshoots of Firefox, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
So they're probably using either Ghana, G-O-A. How would you say this? Goanna, Goanna.
I guess so. I'm not familiar with that word.
Goanna, Goanna. There's Gecko, which is just a straight up Mozilla Firefox and Thunderbird. Like I said, Pale Moon, Basilisk, and K Melon, Meleon.
How's this spelled? Gonna?
Yeah, dude,
Oh, like-
Goanna.
Oh,
Goanna.
GOA.
Is Iceweasel still a thing?
Probably.
Don't know.
I thought it got folded back into Firefox.
Now, this article links to another article that gives this writer's reason of why Firefox is in decline. You want to hear some of these reasons? The first one is tabs on top. As soon as this decision was made, Firefox started losing market share. Every other program on a PC uses tabs against the active window. Proprietary software like Microsoft Office and Adobe, Notepad++. Then Google decided to make the tabs on top a standard for its Chrome browser, which was designed for mobile devices, not desktops. On a smartphone, it makes sense as there isn't room for a full blah, blah, blah. But it says when Firefox first did it, apparently people weren't ready for that. So when Chrome did it, it's okay. Constant removal of features that no one uses, in quotes. Every change made to Firefox had the same pattern. The default feature was changed, but there was a menu setting to revert it. Then the menu setting was removed, and you could only change it in the About config. And then the About config option was removed, and every protest from the user base met the same response. You're just a tiny minority, and most people like the change. It mentions third-party add-ons constantly being out of date. Because they don't keep up with the changes.
Yeah. Does that sort of, you're only a tiny minority and live with it, sound like a gnome response?
It sounds like what the answer is to a lot of stuff, especially things that have to do with Linux. Let's see. The next one, bad coding paradigms. Mozilla source code is a nightmare. Poor memory management. I don't know if that's still true. I think it's, at one time I believe it was. But I would say Chrome is just as bad with memory management as Firefox is, if not worse.
Except if it's running under Snap.
Yeah. Invading your privacy at the same time as telling you we value your privacy. It says hidden telemetry that isn't disabled when you click disable telemetry. First run pings, forced signing of add-ons, auto updates you can't switch off, pinging every 10 minutes. Anyway, I was surprised. I was just surprised to see that Firefox has fallen that far down to 2.2%.
That is
Well,
crazy.
I've just tried putting Firefox.
Oh,
On
Fat
this.
Boy, you have to mute your Jitsi. There you go.
Okay. So what I did, I installed Firefox on here, shut down the Chrome browser, and went
Uh-huh.
back into Jitsi.
Oh,
And I didn't see
Jit-
any of your video on any of
yeah.
them. It just didn't work.
Jitsi doesn't work
It
with
doesn't work on Firefox.
I guess that's another mark against it. It used to,
Um,
but it doesn't anymore. Firefox did something strange with their browser.
So what are you guys using now?
I'm using Chromium.
All that talk about Firefox. Oh, Firefox
It's
is
the only
fantastic. I've been
thing I
using
use
it
Chromium
forever.
for.
Blah, 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 blah,
In
blah.
the, in the middle of I had to install Chrome to jump on the Jitsi because everybody's
Yeah.
video was either non-existent or green.
On the new laptop.
And in the middle of installing, Firefox started working, like while it was installing packages. And as soon as it finished installing, Firefox stopped working again. So it's clearly something that is fixable.
Yes.
They just don't care.
They don't care.
So open source Jitsi and Firefox, which is open source, don't work together.
Right. And
What do you know?
Firefox did something that changed something, and Jitsi is still trying to catch up to work to make it work, which was the same complaint that a lot of people had when it came to extensions. Firefox would always change something, but they wouldn't tell anybody, and so people that made Firefox extensions were constantly trying to catch up to Firefox when they found out their stuff wasn't working. So
Listen,
So when
people
did it
who
stop?
use-
When did it stop working on Firefox?
Oh, I guess about a year ago.
Was it that long?
Maybe not that long. At least 6 months ago. Because I've had to use Chromium for a long time now, just to view the Jitsi. But I don't know what changed. But I guess I'll find out. They keep pushing releases of Jitsi quite a bit. So the next release, hopefully, I'll install that, and maybe it'll be different. Who knows?
Listen, people who use Jitsi are of such a small percentage. on
Such a small
Firefox,
minority
all right?
of people.
The small minority of people
Yeah,
that use Jitsi on Firefox, all right?
that would be their excuse, I'm sure.
Considering that there's only like 1% of people that, use Firefox, they're not wrong.
Well, it's true.
What is this, laughing? Joe opens up a door, says a little comment, and then shuts the door.
Is that what happened? Oh, there he is.